This is the new, less harsh Dan Goodsell.
Oh, sure. This is like a nice soft, maybe a pink gel.
It is the pink because I got there's the pink, and then let's turn off the pink. The pink is off. Pink is on. Pink is off. Pink is on. Pink is off.
I do like
on,
it.
Off.
I
On.
do.
On.
Just keep auditioning things. I think that should be the new video podcast. Is you just trying out different lighting fixtures.
On.
Hey, watching with Dan and Tony. Hey, watching with Dan and Tony. It's Hey Watching, yeah.
Welcome back to Hate Watching with Dan and Tony. I'm Dan.
I'm Tony.
And Tony, why don't you tell them a little bit about what we're doing today?
Oh my God, I would absolutely love to, because I think out of the two of us, I'm the only person that's really excited to do this show right now. We watched a summer blockbuster smash, like it should have broken box office records. It should have knocked out all the Marvel movies before they were made. And we watched Stealth, a classic Jessica Biel, Josh Lucas? I don't even know the guy's name.
Tony, this is not a Jessica Biel movie.
It's
not a Jamie Foxx movie.
It's definitely not a Jamie Foxx movie.
It's a Josh Lucas movie.
It's a Josh Lucas film. Thank you. That's his last name.
I went to his IMDb and he had a list that was this long, just like.
How?
I think I'd seen one of his movies. Maybe I'd seen one.
Do you remember what it was?
Poseidon. He was in the remake of the Poseidon Adventure.
I didn't even see it.
Which I think I saw some, if not all of it.
Okay. Okay.
Everything else I'd never heard of. He does TV now. He's on Yellowstone. He plays young Kevin Costner.
Oh, that's great. I just started Yellowstone, and I've only watched the pilot, and I like it. I like it.
Well, your Josh Lucas going to be coming your way probably in season 2 or 3.
I don't know how I feel about that, because before we get into the movie itself, I would just like to say that he's not very good. He's not a terrible actor per se, but he's not charming, and he's not likable, which he has to be to carry this movie in any way, because they make him super cocky, and to be cocky, you have to still be likable. Otherwise, I'm just like, fuck this guy, blow up his plane. I don't want to see him anymore.
This movie, as you may guess, has just an infinite amount of problems. Just beginning to end, it's problems. There's nothing goes right. Nothing goes right in this movie. I mean, the only thing this movie did right was it had its at 30 minutes it did its whatchamacallit, the thing that's supposed to happen, the plot shift, the
inciting incident.
The inciting incident happens literally on the 30-minute mark. The sort of second at 1 hour, they kill Jamie Foxx's character. Spoilers. So if you want to see Jamie Foxx, this is not the movie to see. They kill him at exactly 1 hour, and then the final battle starts with 15 minutes to go. It's like they took Save the Cat and they were like, these are the numbers, they're happening.
That's exactly what it is, because we've both tried to write scripts, right? And those Sid Field books and all that nonsense, they tell you on what page to put these things. And this movie follows that to a T, regardless of the rest of the story. Like, they don't care how they get to those points. They just make sure that they hit those points. They're like, done. This is going to be great. We followed all the rules. There's no way this movie could go wrong.
And yeah, this movie, of course, suffers from the Frankenstein effect, which is just sort of Frankenstein throwing we got these 3 stars, throw them in there. We sort of wrote a script, throw them in there. This is going to be action, sort of throw it in there. Did this movie have music? I
have problems
Incubus.
With the music. It's so much Incubus. I don't know. Were they the only band in 2000s? I don't fully remember.
They went to Incubus and they said, you're our guys. You're going to write songs and you're gonna, this is gonna be, and the Incubus guys were like, yes, 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 this is our thing. I mean, Incubus was kind of like the biggest band, maybe in the country, maybe in the world.
do
I don't know.
remember
At a certain
liking
point.
them. I mean, there was definitely a point where I was like, oh, Incubus is rad. But it doesn't, this movie doesn't feel like an Incubus movie to me. Because they're not like hard rock. They're not really even fun rock. They're just kind of radio rock. Which I guess, now that I think about it, it does actually fit this movie, because this movie's not exciting or fun or upbeat. It's just kind of there.
One quick other Incubus thing I want to say is I really liked the end title song. I thought it was great.
Oh, no, I'm okay with that. That was the only time I enjoyed any music in the entire movie. There's also, I'm probably jumping ahead, but there's emotional moments where they try to use the score to heighten the feeling, but instead of like tense music or atmospheric music, they just kind of make sounds, and it's so weird.
What? This I did not notice. It's like Josh starts doing monkey noises.
No, it's just like
to prove his emotions, because he can't really emote like an actor.
Well, he can't. That's for sure. There's no build. It's like there's no crescendo in the music. It's just kind of like,
sure.
And I'm just like, I'm not connected to this at all. It doesn't heighten my emotions. It's just weird background noise that doesn't fit the scene. Anyhow, let's start at the top of this masterpiece.
Stealth, 2004. Woo! I wrote Paramount Pictures, crossed it out, wrote Columbia below that. I don't know why I thought it was Paramount Pictures, but for some reason I was looking at the logo and I was like, hey, look, a Paramount Picture.
It's definitely Paramount. Okay.
Paramount.
So
wait,
Columbia
no, it's
Pictures.
Columbia.
I don't know. I didn't pay
2
attention.
hours. 2 hours long. We start with a bunch of titles. Naval Air Force, the near future. They're fighting terrorism. We must destroy the enemy. Destroy the enemy.
So this kind of talks to the whole crux. I have two really big problems with this movie. We'll get to one right now because it's this, and then the other one I'm going to save. So there's no real enemy to the movie.
No, they changed the conflict throughout the movie.
Yes, because there's no one like plot. They're not going one place. They're just kind of like throwing things against the wall to see if anything makes any sense, and then they're like, you know what? Forget it. Let's introduce a new bad guy an hour and a half into this movie, and then that'll be the final fight. What are you talking about? That doesn't make any sense to me. There needs to be a clear conflict in the movie, and there's not. I know you say there is the inciting incident, which is, we'll get to, he gets struck by lightning and then becomes bad or something. I don't know. But he's not the bad guy of the movie. So their inciting incident only lasts for about 15 more minutes, and then they're like, okay, we're switching it up. So there's no clear conflict, and that really bothered me. Because I was genuinely promised by the synopsis of their own movie, that the movie was about them. I wrote it down. They need to deal with this technology before it starts the next world war. That's the synopsis of this movie. That is not what this movie is about. That is a movie I want to see. I want to see a blockbuster about a rogue plane that's about to start World War III, and these humans have to dig deep and beat the machines. That's the movie I want to see. I didn't see it, and I'm pissed. Sorry.
That movie, yes. They the problem is, and I realized it, I was watching I want to go back and watch Top Gun. Not a movie I liked, not a movie I cared about. I mean, I don't know. I saw it a million years ago. I was like, bleh, whatever.
Oh, damn.
So I was trying to understand what Top Gun was about. And then the other movie I thought of was Independence Day.
Yeah.
Which has Will Smith becoming a star. And I was like, okay, I watched the scene where he fought the aliens and, whatever, right? They attack the big alien ship. The alien ship spits out all their ships and swarms the good guys. The good guys all get killed. It's just Harry Connick Jr. and Will Smith running away.
Yep.
They're running away. Two ships are chasing them. They kill. Harry Connick pulls out, which makes no sense. He's like, I can't handle it. I'm pulling out. You're like,
it's a lot of pressure.
Huh? He just like, I'm done. And Will Smith, don't be done. And so they're like, dialogue. Harry dies. And Will Smith's like, come and get me, motherfucker. Doesn't say motherfucker, but and he's like in the valley, which is exactly the same as this movie, in the valley. And he's being pursued. By
the more powerful enemy.
By the more powerful enemy. In this movie, the good guys are less powerful and they're pursuing.
Yeah.
Which
doesn't make any sense.
It's like you have to keep figuring out a way to make them continue to pursue for no reason. Because Eddie could just fly off and the bad plane's name is Eddie, could just fly off and blow up whatever he wants. They're never going to catch him.
But
right?
He doesn't. And that is why I don't like the movie. Because he should, as a computer program that is designed to destroy the enemy, he should pinpoint what he thinks a future enemy is going to be and want to just obliterate them. And that's what I wanted to see. And then the humans are like, oh no, we got to stop this all-powerful plane. But it's really just like, oh, our dog ran loose in the woods. Can someone go get him? Oh, by the way, the dog's a giant saber-toothed tiger, but good luck. Go find him.
And Sam Shepard's like, bring him back. And you're like, bring him back?
Bring Black.
Well, they're going to like throw a big net over the plane, and then we're going to, and so just by the nature of them chasing, you're never going to get excitement, because it's not exciting to be the person behind somebody pointing guns at them.
Yep.
Because you're rooting for them to win. You're rooting for the hunted to win. And that's, we're getting way deeper into this than we should, because we haven't really gotten anywhere in the movie, but we exist in this drone world now where these drones fly over and shoot things down. And it's really hard to, square that these drones are just flying around, just destroying. And these guys felt like that sort of military where it's like, they trumped up stuff to make it seem like the world was out to get them and the world is bad and we're just the good guys. But when they did that, it felt so trumped up.
But it felt like, I'm going to get a lot of hate for this. That felt like American. Like this is like a super American, like, we're the good guys. We have to control everything and destroy everybody. But it's like the people you're bombing didn't do anything yet. You tell me that they're going to do something, but they haven't done anything yet, technically, as far as I can tell. And so there's like this moral line in the movie that they're like, we're not going to cross this moral line. But it's such a fake moral. There's no actual morality behind that moral decision that it feels super empty and just like, oh, we just randomly decided this is what we're not going to do, even though we blow shit up for no reason.
Yeah, that's exactly it. They write a lot of things in to try to set up a situation where you're like, they're heroes, and
never feels that way.
It never feels that way. There's just a lot of moral ambiguity to everything, and also it's like, you guys are military. At a number of points, they sit there and make moral judgments, which it's not really the way it works.
Not even
like,
a little bit.
The commander says, go take that hill, you go take that hill. And so they're like always, and they have magical devices to do these things. They have my favorite part was when Jessica Biel had a mammal detector.
Yeah.
She had literally somehow in her airplane, it's looking out into the world somehow magically and detecting amount of mammal.
Well, it's the near future, Dan. So a lot of things can change.
So we find out that 400 applied to join this super crew and only 3 were chosen.
Oh my God, we're still on the opening titles.
Yeah, sure enough.
I forgot.
Was that in the opening titles?
Yeah,
The 403? Probably was.
Titles, yeah. Only 3 were selected.
We meet Sam Shepard, who's playing military commander dude,
Mm-hmm.
who's like enemy A sort of. And then we have the whole initial thing where they're flying through the thing and doing things and jumping and they're flying their airplanes and blowing things up. We immediately know it's bogus even before they tell us that it's bogus. Because we look at the desert and we're like, that's not a Middle Eastern desert. That's a desert here in Arizona or whatever.
Something.
So immediately, if you have a brain, you're like, oh, okay, this whole thing means nothing.
Well, so, okay, that's great, because my question that I wrote down was, why the misdirect? Because they're obviously trying to get you to think that they're in some sort of combat situation. And then they reveal, like, the fight after 8 minutes, I swear to God, of explosions. Random explosions of just like buildings, cars that aren't moving, maybe like a rock. I don't know. They show like
nothing is moving. The trucks are all just sitting there. So
everything's just sitting there.
Everything's sitting there, except there's machine guns going off.
Correct. There's guns and then like a missile at some point, but everything else is completely stationary. And then at the end of it, they show the last house that gets blown up and it's full of mannequins. And I guess I'm supposed to be like, oh, it's fake. I did not realize it was fake. But of course it's fake. They're not fighting anything real. They're just, if it's not fake, it's a horrible opening because they are just killing defenseless people, essentially, then.
Well, it was the bad guys. So you understand if they've been killing the bad guys. But since the audience automatically knows it's fake, we automatically knows the stakes are zero. And once again, they're never threatened. They're just like, we're the hottest hot shit ever. And of course, we have the line, which is, that was shit hot.
I wrote that down too. So
of course you did.
Love that line. And I was like, oh my God, this is going to be Josh Lucas's tagline throughout the movie. And I'm going to totally adopt it. That was shit hot. I like it. It's cool. Never comes back. He never says shit hot again. And I'm so disappointed.
So they go back to Sam Shepard's office. There's this whole weird great popsicle things. Everybody's throwing things between their hands, be it a ball, be it an apple. Everyone's throwing balls around. And then there's going to be a fourth wingman, which I don't know that that's how you say it. You wouldn't. It's not another wingman.
Either.
It's
yeah. I mean, I've never flown a plane, so I don't really know.
And then Jamie Foxx does this whole thing about 4 being an unlucky number because it's not a prime.
Oh my!
And
is this supposed to be funny or charming or cute or something? I genuinely didn't understand. I was like, this guy's obviously super OCD. He doesn't understand anything. But they do call it back at the end of the movie.
Oh yeah.
So I think it's supposed to be like a cool, funny line or something. But it's just devoid of any charm, any wit. Like I don't understand. I mean, they all are terrible in this movie, save for Jay Beals. But
I skipped right some the great popsicles. I got to issue an apology to all of our watchers. If you watched the Mac and Me episode, I said that the guy that invented Otter Pops also did the formulation for Funny Face. I was pointed out by someone that is not true. It's an urban legend in the Drake Mix community.
Wow.
And I just wanted to issue this minor apology.
That's, you know what? That's
not
a pretty major apology. You misled a lot of people, at least 6, I think, because I think that's what the views were at.
This was in Mac and Me.
No, I know. That's because I watched it. You watched it. I assume Shannon watched it. Naomi watched it.
Shannon watched it.
Yeah. And anyhow.
So that's my apology.
All right. Well, we forgive
you,
Dan.
Then they get some R&R.
So, okay.
So then they say, do we get to go to the carrier? That's what they say. And then they take some R&R, and then you're going to get to go to the carrier. Yeah.
Why are we already going on vacation?
Because it's their last night to party.
But we haven't lived in their military world for more than like 5 minutes, and they're already like, okay, good. Let's take a break from all that serious stuff and let's go have some fun at a bar. Like I'm not any way invested in these characters yet to go see them be their normal selves. I want to be like, oh, these guys are cool, and then also they know how to party. Now I'm double on board. But I don't care about any of them. And then this scene doesn't help. But continue.
So they go to a bar. They Jamie Foxx and Josh Lucas's characters both have these really skanky women. Jessica Biel, of course, can't get a date because we have no idea why she can't get a date.
Maybe women of power are not attractive in this movie or something. I honestly don't know.
And I don't even remember anything about. I mean, I remember like the two women go off to the bathroom together and they leave Jessica Biel there because she's not really a woman or something. I don't know.
Oh, interesting. That's actually a very interesting point. I like that. Because they do. The two ladies are like, I got a pee-pee, first of all. Woof.
Thank you.
But they don't, maybe they're friends, but they don't invite Jessica, so they don't consider her a peer, for sure.
Nope. They don't even consider her really a woman. I mean, do they even invite her?
No. I don't even know if they don't even maybe interact with her throughout that entire scene.
And that's why we're going to get into the feminist film theory right now. Do you know what the Bechdel test is?
I do, yes.
Okay, good. The Bechdel test is a really simple thing. All it is you look at a movie. This movie's got 2 hours. You look at the female characters, and all you need is a single scene where one female character talks to another female character, not about men. Okay? And they both have to have names. Never happens in this movie.
No, not even close.
I think this is the kind of movie where you look at that and you realize these are not characters. They're not people. They don't have families. They don't have existences outside of the idiotic plot that they're trapped in.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why Jamie Foxx's character has no character. He's not even like a sleazy woman's man. He kind of is. They kind of say he kind of is. They kind of say Josh is too, a little bit, kind of, sort of, maybe. Jessica Biel's character is a ghost. She is non-existent. They have not written her onto this page at all. Mm-hmm. And the one time that they talk about her character behind her back, they talk about how she's the greatest and how she's being groomed and how this and that. Never shown in the movie. Never one time does she do she doesn't do anything.
No,
it's
none of them do anything. The only person that does something is Josh Lucas, and we'll get there relatively soon. So we'll put a pin in that. I do want to talk about Jamie Foxx's character a little bit.
Okay.
Because I agree, they don't make him like a full on like sleazy ladies man. But he has some very creepy lines in this movie. Like, they're just the thing, he's not a ladies man. I would argue that he kidnaps women and keeps them in his basement. That's what I would argue. And it comes down to the scene later when they're in Thailand.
Yeah.
And he just grabs that woman on the shoulder and like pulls her to him. She doesn't speak English, as far as the movie tells me. She doesn't understand what he's saying, but he just like brings her everywhere. And I'm just like, is she against her will right now? I honestly cannot tell. We can talk about it more later. But he scared me a little bit in this movie.
So they go to the carrier, and we meet Eddie, who is the other thing, which is the robot plane. And this plane's different than their planes. It's like vertical takeoff and landing, which is crazy.
That's awesome.
And it just sort of, it's awesome. It just swoops in there, and they're it used methane fuel, and
I didn't catch that.
I don't know.
Here's what I'll say. You may not agree, but the prop of the plane, money well spent. Visually, I am on board with this plane. I really liked it.
it made me think that if this movie was made for 12-year-olds and you ended up with a whole line of toys for this movie,
Yeah,
this would have been a movie that was 10 times better. If they really
100%.
market it, as a toy movie, this is an action adventure. These are these planes, blah, 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 blah. But they don't. And so, I mean, I was rewatched the 1 hour fight, and the planes just look like plastic. The other guy's planes.
Yeah,
They
real
just
bad.
look like they're sitting in a big hunk of plastic
Mhm.
that is totally bogus.
The action
So
scenes are not good. They're not exciting, they're not interesting, and they're not cut together very well, which surprises me because Rob Cohen, is that, I believe that's the guy's name who directed it. He also did the original Triple X, which I love. I'm a big Vin Diesel fan. And he did the original Fast and the Furious, which is a very solid action movie, I would argue.
Well, because there are stakes in cars. You can't have stakes in planes because you can't drive against something. You can't bump each other. There's a million rules about planes because you do something in a plane and it's gone. It's like a plane is either going or not going. Period.
Dan,
Done.
you got to watch Top Gun again because I disagree with what you just said because Top Gun does it very well 10 years earlier.
Well, I guess that's the thing is I want to rewatch Top Gun and sort of see how they actually made that tension because none of that tension is here.
It's in the movie. Top Gun does a great job. I'm sorry, continue.
Top Gun's a great. So
yeah.
So it can be done. So I mean, just like anything, it can be done. This movie doesn't do it at all.
No, it doesn't. It doesn't.
So we're on the aircraft carrier where we see that everybody's already been there because they have these they have these crew that are completely filled with pictures and stuff that although it seems like this is the day they got there and they'd never been there before.
Yep. But they're already moved in.
The real commander of the aircraft carrier is like, wow, nice to see you again. But they like literally have done laundry, covered the rooms in pictures instantaneously, which makes no sense.
It's super weird.
So here we get the greatest part where we see that Jessica Biel and Josh Lucas's characters are in love.
Great. I'm so glad we got here because they don't make any sense together. And this movie doesn't do anything to show me that they care for each other at all. Other than
not at all.
Like this scene is just kind of awkward to me. It doesn't make any sense, and their characters don't really seem to like each other, but the things they say are like full of undertones, and so like the script was trying, but the actors didn't seem to be totally on board or something. It just didn't work. But we get one of the greatest lines in the movie, which is excuse my C cup.
Don't say it. Pardon my C cup.
Oh, is that pardon my C cup? First of all, one of the hottest lines I've ever heard in my life. I was like, whoa, okay. Well, how's it going? Good for you. Powerful women.
Because her bra and panties are drying on the line, and everybody has to walk through them to talk about whatever they talked about.
They talked about nothing. Literally nothing.
So next day they go on their first mission, and the one of the few things I liked about the movie is they give the robot plane the nickname Tin Man.
Yeah, that was cool.
They should have never referred to him as Eddie again. They should have only ever referred to him as Tin Man.
So my question. I get that you have like a call sign that is different than your land name. I don't know anything about the Air Force, but
sure.
Tin Man is such a cool name, and they never really give that the oomph that I think it deserves. Like Tin Man should be kicking ass, which is what I'm going to talk about right now.
He should, when he becomes sentient, he should be like, Tin Man's going to take care of it. They should have had Vin Diesel or somebody. They just do this generic robot voice. He should have they should have changed voices when he gives his transformation. He should have been like Tin Man on the case, Tin Man. He should have just been this really obsessive, self-referential bullshit. I mean, and that's the whole thing about it is you liked Pardon My C Cup. You liked That Was Shit Hot. When you're watching Bad Boys, you want them to be these freaking assholes that just talk in cliches, and it's just constant. Jamie Foxx's character should have never shut his mouth once while he was in that cockpit. He should have been just like, "Who's the number one? It's me. I'm the number one. I'm the," just like make a character and just go with it. But you would watch the action scenes, and they would be like.
Plain. Oh.
Like, if you're going to be the crappy movie that you want to be, and this movie wants to be the crappy movie that it should be.
It should be.
It just doesn't want to do that. So, change of plans, emergency mission. We're going to go to Myanmar, and there's 3 terrorists there that we... 3 terrorists.
Yeah, 3
that we've
terrorists
been looking for. And talk about how they... all the information that comes loose in this action setup.
I just have a lot of questions, if I'm being honest, about the tech. So this goes back to the technology that we use in this movie a little bit. I'm 100% cool with the plane. Let me get that out there. I'm on board with a sentient plane. I think that's totally something that could happen, right? They have these. So, okay, so there's 3 terrorists that are having a meeting. If we know where they're going to be, how come we didn't know where they were before? Like, I'm confused. Who's relaying this information? Are they all separate spies that are like telling them, oh, hey, they're going to go to this building? He's like, well, oh my gosh, my guy's going to go to this building. The other guy's like, me too, guys. We know exactly where they're all going to be for the first time in, years that we've been looking for them? I don't understand where the intel came from. But thank God that it's perfect, because otherwise we would have been in real trouble. Now, I also have a problem. Sorry, I have a lot of problems. I also have a problem with them bringing Eddie on the mission.
For observation.
No, I get it. I get what they say. They're like, don't worry, he's just going to watch from the background. Like, what? First of all, that doesn't make any sense to me.
He's got an infinite load of missiles on him, but he's just watching.
He's going to hang back and do nothing. He's not programmed to execute enemies, so it's going to be fine.
Nope. That's not his prime directive, to kill, and kill some more.
But who is authorizing these ideas in general? Like, this is another main problem I have with the movie, is I don't understand the pecking order of anything. Because we'll get to it later, but when they go to Alaska, that entire division of the Navy or Army or whatever they are is also bad. So who is in charge of all of these people that they're all bad Army dudes? I don't understand.
Wait, who? What do you mean? I mean, there's like the spooky guy in the spooky Washington, D.C. office. He's in charge of all the bad guys, right? We didn't even talk about him because it's so stupid.
We need to talk a little bit about him when we get there. But I guess I just don't understand how they're operating as like a shadow agency, because they're getting...
No, they're not. This is a straight up op. Everybody knows about this op.
But then why are they... If that is the case, why is everyone okay with everyone trying to kill Josh Lucas? Because when we get to Alaska, the entire military base seems like they're trying to kill Josh Lucas. That's a lot of people to be trying to kill one person. If that's authorized, what kind of a world are we living in where our government is like, well, we got to kill that one guy because, I'm confused on the military order. Did
you notice all the people that are up in Portland that are up there doing covert ops? Who knows who they're... whatever.
I'm sorry. I think I spun us off course. I don't remember where we were. I'm sorry.
So they gotta. So Eddie figures everything out. He like tells him where everybody is. He figures out all the math, and he's like, "You got to shoot the missile down through the top of the thing." And Eddie's like, "I can do it because I'm a robot." And Josh Lucas like, "No, I'm a man. I got to do it because I'm the greatest man." And he does it and barely survives it, and it's stupid.
Oh, you think it's stupid? So this is what I wanted the movie to be about. So I wanted the movie. So their competition is what I thought was going to spur Eddie to turn on the humans. Because Josh Lucas is like, oh no, we don't need a robot to do it. I'm better than a robot, right? And so then Eddie should have been like, oh, the people that created me don't like me. Like I need to prove that I'm better than them. And then like he escalates things. That's what I thought was going to happen in this movie. I was dead wrong, obviously.
You're dead wrong. Because that's not at all what happens.
It's not even a little bit.
So they blow up the building and they use a magic implosion bomb, which makes it so no people are harmed except terrorists because it's a magical empty building that's only filled with terrorists.
Which, how did we know that? Because they said there are no bystanders in the building. So do terrorists have like maybe a higher heat signature because they're so angry all the time? Is that what I'm led to believe? I don't understand.
Yeah, that's what happens.
Okay.
Jessica Biel in her cockpit has this little thing, and it's a little ding, ding, ding. Humans, not humans, good humans, bad humans. It's like Santa Claus.
Okay.
They got the Santa Claus meter.
Did you check the list twice? Nailed it.
Oh, God, it's so stupid. So they go back. They're flying back, and then Eddie gets struck by lightning, and that scrambles his Eddie brain. This is we're only at the 30-minute mark, and we're at like the 40-minute mark of our show.
And this is where the movie lost me, Dan. As much
this is where it lost you.
I've complained a lot, and I know, but up until this point, I'm still on board. I'm still clinging to hope that I'm going to get a cool movie about a robot who fights its human oppressors. But then their catalyst is he gets struck by lightning and changes his programming. What a cop-out! I'm so disappointed that is the crux of this movie. Like, come on, guys. There's no moral dilemma in that. There's no like emotional catalyst of humans versus robots.
More importantly, they get him back on the carrier and they take his brain out and they like then put his brain back in. So in other words, they look at his brain and they're like, all sorts of things are going wrong in here. And they're like, well, we better give him missiles and put him back, let him do whatever he wants because we're not in control of him. We're not going to,
I love...
So Eddie...
Yeah. No, I'm sorry.
So the brain is there and he's playing rock music and we get the other classic line, oh, he's such a criminal. He's such a bad boy. He's downloading songs from the internet. How many songs? All of them. I mouthed that along with the dude as he said that because I knew that's what the line was going to be because it was so stupid. And like you say, if this was the movie where it was like cool, you'd be like, yeah, got all of them. Go Eddie. Tin Man's fucking with the man. But no, we're like, oh, this is pathetic. They're going to put that evil robot brain back in his like super plane that could just fly all over the place. And and of course, then the stupid guy who's the one tech on this $1 billion project. It takes 100 people in like a room watching screens to watch them do stuff, but it's one tech that runs the whole thing. And we find out that Keith Orbit is the designer. Keith Orbit. He changed his name to Orbit because he's a giant asshole.
Right. So, again, another disappointment for me. Just own that you named your character Keith Orbit. Don't give me this weird story about how he was like, oh, my life doesn't mean anything now, so I'm going to change my name because it's not good enough. What? Just name him Keith Orbit and let it be stupid and funny. Like, you're not making... like The Godfather, right? Like you're making a stupid action movie. Let it be fun. Just let it happen. I feel like they fight the fun so much in this movie for no reason.
They fight the fun. So we see that Eddie does like lip reading like from 2001. So he knows they're messing with him. And somebody says
Oh,
that's what that was.
got it.
He was lip reading.
Got it.
And that was
Didn't
ripped
get
off
it.
from 2001 because it's so stupid. And somebody says at some point, I don't think war should be a video game.
Josh Lucas said it.
Josh Lucas says that.
Even though that's what he does. He treats it like a video game when he's in the plane because... but anyhow, yeah, continue.
So, and then I wrote, all we need is one more successful mission. Somebody says that at some... Why would they say that?
Thank God you put that in the... Because what a weird way to get to our next plot point. Is you just throw in, we just need one more successful mission. First of all, who's counting the missions? I don't understand. And is it this secret group of 3 fighters? Is that the people that only need one more mission? Or does Eddie only need one more after the one? Does he only need 2 missions to prove that he's ready? I didn't even understand who the we was in that sentence. We only need one more mission. Who only needs one more mission? I don't understand that.
I have no idea. So then we go to Thailand for rest and recreation because they did a mission. So you got to get some time off while they put the evil robot brain back in the plane.
There is so much vacation time for these people. How are they any good at flying? They fly for like 10 minutes and then they take a week off. That is not a way to get good at something.
So at Thailand, we have this whole thing where Jessica Biel gets in a bathing suit and looks very attractive. And we see that they're in love. They walk around with the Jamie Foxx woman,
the captive,
and they just spend all the time. I thought this was a plot point I was waiting for. Is they just like classified information, blah 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 in the middle of nowhere, right next to people. They're just like classified information. Like they are literally on the most secret project of the military, and just talking in open bars, talking in front of this woman. They don't speak English because they're not like us.
Yeah, why isn't she a spy? Why isn't Jamie Foxx's lady, who he kidnaps and holds against her will, and then tells her all his secrets, why is she not a spy? To give her something to do.
So now we have the next big set piece. They're doing their big thing. Tim, the nerdy guy that was in charge of Eddie's been reassigned. Which was like, dun, 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 Tim is gone. So they're going to fly to Tajikistan, where there are 4 nuclear bombs that they, once again, magically know that exist, that are being carried by ox cart to like the warlord's secret castle. And they're going to fly there and do something, blow them up.
Yeah.
And that's what they do.
I'm only going to touch on this very quickly. I don't want to turn this into like a real podcast at all, if that makes sense. But the Iraq War was 2003. And this is made in like a year later, right?
Yeah.
So part of this to me almost feels like we're trying to justify some of the things that like the way that we got intel. So the part of me was like,
oh, so you think this is sort of a weapons of... Oh, okay. I didn't go there at all. I did. I can see how you could.
Yeah, let's not go there. But I felt that throughout this movie, and it made me uncomfortable. But we'll move on from that and just talk about how stupid this movie is. Continue.
So they go in, they blow everything up. It causes radioactive dust to like kill a giant town, and they're all conflicted.
Well, they're not going to do it.
They use. Oh, well, they're not going to do it. Oh, does Eddie just do it? Is that what happens?
Yes. So Jessica Biel. Thank God there's a woman on the team who can think rationally, right? Jessica Biel was like, "Hey, let's not do this." A lot of casualties on her machine. And so then Josh Lucas is like, well, luckily I'm in love with you, so I'll side with you instead of my orders. And he's like, we're not going to do it. So then Eddie's like, well, I'm programmed to do it, and I don't have emotional attachments to my flight mates, so I'm going to just go do it. So he goes in, and then they start fighting back. And then Josh Lucas's team is like, well, crap, now we have to go save Eddie for some reason. So then they engage and blow the shit out of this place that they weren't going to blow up. And kill so many people.
kills so many people, radioactive dust everywhere. And then this is the point at which Eddie loses it. Where Eddie's like he has become like he's felt the taste of blood, and he becomes and he turns into the rabid video game teenager that he is, and he's like, I'm only here to destroy the enemy. I'm not going back home. For what reason, we're never quite sure. But he's like, no more. And they like figure out he has 7 missiles. He can kill 150,000 people. And somebody says, get me Keith Orbit on the phone.
Ooh, Keith.
Can we talk about Keith Orbit's secretary?
Oh, God. What do you want to say about her, Dan?
Nothing.
I will say, I'm going to say this real quick, just as a whole. Anyone who's not in the main part of this movie, being like the planes and then the army base, all of the side cutaways that we have, like the guy in Washington who we only see through his window from like
shaky window,
what I believe to just be like an old handheld camera from your father's closet, right? Zooming in, zooming out. I don't understand why that's even happening. They're all done so terribly that I imagine they had less than a day to get all of the footage that's not on the base or in the air. They were just like, oh my God, we have to go. You take your old camera, go get that shot. We're going to go talk to these people.
I think these were all carefully crafted.
No, I don't believe that.
Concepts.
I will never buy that.
So Eddie's going to take his 7 missiles and he's going to go blow up this secret. I don't even remember. I didn't even write down what it was called.
It didn't make any sense.
Purple salamander. It's like some secret thing in Russia where if he blows it up, it's going to destroy the world or something. It's like
doesn't make
weird
any
red
sense.
herring. And Eddie has now become like this sullen teenager video gamer. He's just like, leave me alone. Screw you. I'm just gonna do what I want. You're not the boss of me. You're just like,
now that you say that, now that's what I want the movie to be about. I want him to like come into adolescence almost, because he like starts as this, super smart baby and then gains his independence, and now he has to like grow up in the movie. That's a great movie. I love that movie.
So Jessica Biel and Jamie Foxx are chasing him and chasing Eddie, Tin Man. And they're, going through the canyons, and Jessica Biel's like, you're too close, Jamie Foxx, you're too close. And he's like, gonna get you, sucker. Doesn't say that because he says something much more boring.
Should have said that.
Shoots the missile. Eddie tricks the thing, and so the missile blows up and goes back on that, and he dies. But he dies in like the best shot ever, where his plane
just
crunches
crumbles
into the wall, and you watch
slowly.
It's like, and you're just like, you should have like cut to Jamie Foxx's head, just like going, and they're like, no.
So here's the problem that I have with this whole sequence. I have a lot of problems. The one problem that I have big time is that Jamie Foxx is not a good pilot in this scene. They're supposed to be the 3 most elite pilots in the service. He does some very basic, stupid things and gets himself killed. That negates everything you've told me for the past hour of this movie about this group of people. I now think that they're just kind of regular pilots who just kind of lucked into this mission. Maybe they were even sent to the mission because the regular people were like, well, we don't like these pilots. Put them in this secret mission that they're going to get killed at. I don't understand why he's so bad at flying all of a sudden.
I'm gonna show you something, Tony. Watch this. Watch what I do here.
I'm watching.
Watch what I'm doing. See what I'm doing? I'm pulling back on my throttle. I'm listening to my wingman. You're too close. And so you know what I do? I go like this. This is what it takes to save Jamie Foxx's life. He just backs it down. But no, he can't do that because he's this hot-headed pilot that's not been set up as a hot-headed pilot.
Right. So like they don't even, it's not even like if it was a character thing, maybe it was like a pride thing, or he's emotionally compromised, or something to make him make those mistakes. But to just make him a bad pilot all of a sudden is stupid. And now I'm going to compare it to Top Gun very quickly, because this is the goose. Spoiler alert for Top Gun, by the way, if you haven't seen it.
And in my brain, I haven't seen it.
Okay, well, spoiler alert, Dan. Goose dies in a this beautifully emotional horror, like just totally avoidable incident, and like, it's great. It's awesome. It's such a great. I love Top Gun, but whatever. There is no emotional impact at all with Jamie Foxx's death.
How does Goose die?
So they start into a tailspin because they hit some jet. I don't know, like some jet wind. Yeah. So they start spinning and they're like, oh shit, we can't get out. So they have to eject, and he ejects into the window, and it's, I cry every time.
I mean, his head blows up.
It doesn't blow up, but he rams into the window and then just falls lifelessly to the sea. It's, oh God, it's heart-wrenching. And the great thing about that movie is they've set up these two characters as best friends, and you care about them. Especially Goose, like you're emotionally connected to Goose because he's this good guy. He's fun. He plays the piano, great balls of fire. He's got this beautiful lady, and it's just, oh God, they do it so well. And this movie has no emotional attachment to this character, and they make this big hoopla out of him dying, but nobody cares in the movie. No one cares outside of the movie. Why is he in the movie?
Well, there's a hooker in Thailand that's going to miss his American dollars.
How are we going to tell her that he's dead? She doesn't understand English.
So Eddie's on his mission. He goes off. He steals fuel from the giant blimp that has fuel, which is cool. I like that part.
Can I ask a quick question on that? Because is that an American fuel, blimp fuel? Why is it over foreign airspace? Is that allowed?
It's way up in the upper atmosphere. This is not a thing we have yet. I looked it up and I did a little research. The whole idea of these planes is these planes have a limited amount of fuel. Right?
Yes, which I feel like we don't deal with.
We touched it in the most cursory way.
Yeah.
And so normally what you do is you launch another plane that's full of fuel, and then he flies up there and he sucks off the fuel.
Sure. Yeah, he does.
But in the future, we might have these high altitude, basically almost in space, ones that you could fly up to and do that with.
Okay,
so
that
it's
makes
kind
sense.
of interesting.
But why does it fly in a circle?
Caviar sweep.
Oh,
That's
yes.
the name of the secret
I
Russian
do recognize that word.
cold fusion weapons lab. So Eddie's going to fly off to Caviar Sweep and blow it up and then destroy the world or something. Who cares?
Or something.
And so Josh Lucas has to go get fuel at the thing, but Eddie's like, it's spilling fuel in a circle, and then Eddie's waiting there because he wants to kill Josh Lucas. Did he say why he wanted to kill him?
I think it's because Josh Lucas is trying to bring him home, and he's raging against the machine. I don't know.
He's like, "You're not my dad. I'm gonna kill you." He doesn't say that, but
he should say that.
He should say that. We should go through and do like the fan loop of this, and then we just put in we just redo all the dialogue. You do all the characters. I do Eddie.
Tin Man,
who would never refer to himself as I'm Tin Man. I'm number one Tin Man that there is. So, oh God.
Wait, has Jessica Biel already crashed?
So Jessica Biel goes home at this point.
Well,
and
not
so she's
really
like,
at all.
She's going home, which is back to, wait, where were we?
A great question.
We were going to Tajikistan. We were in the Philippine Ocean. So she's going back, and somehow her plane gets injured, and then she crashes in North Korea.
So I definitely didn't get an A in my geography class, but I don't think all of this makes sense spatially.
No, I mean, it doesn't make a lot of sense. You can do all the numbers. If they can get refueled, you can do it all.
But
It's
she
just
did
going to
not
take
get
so much
refueled.
time. No. So essentially they're in the Philippine Sea, so they're flying northeast
Okay.
up to Russia, then they're coming back. So, I mean, maybe if you look at a map, you could do it. I mean, the truth of the matter is, it would be 1,000 times easier for her to fly over South Korean airspace. She would not be flying over North Korean airspace. There's
Not
no
if she
reason.
was a good pilot, because we know that
No,
that's not a good place to be, right?
No.
I don't know. But okay, anyhow, moving aside from
So
geography.
she crashes there, and basically she's found out. She's followed by this sniper who shoots her across the thing, and she's followed, and she's trying to get away, and no one's gonna help her. So let's just put that plot.
Hold on. Can we just talk about the fall?
Because there's like 3 or 4 scenes of it. Yeah, what?
Can we talk about the fall? Because for a while I was totally into the fall. It was
you liked it because
I liked the visual of like her falling into the clouds, and then he's like, you know, the meteorites of the plane like kind of coming down. I was like, this is a cool scene. I really like it. And then they put a hole in her parachute, and then she survived pretty much just fine. Thank God trees are super cushiony. What?
They are. They are.
No, they're not. What are you talking about?
If you are free falling and your parachute's messed up, aim for the pine trees, baby. People survive all the time.
Really?
People survive falls. You can land on hay and survive.
All right. Listen, I'm not.
If you see like the big, you're falling in Iowa and you see the big hay bale.
That's where you go.
Shoot for that mother. Go for that. Yeah, because what'll happen is as you go down through the pine trees, smack, 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 smack. I mean, are you going to be in good shape? No, you're going to have to go see a doctor for sure. You're not going to be like, fight the entire North Korean army. Yeah, very unlikely. Very unlikely.
Okay, all right. I'm okay with it then.
But people fall through trees and survive. I mean, is it 1 out of 10? Probably it's 1 out of 10.
I mean, she's an elite fighter pilot, so she'd be the 1 out of 10 for sure.
And parachutes are very flammable.
That feels like bad planning on whoever invented parachutes.
I looked it up. They said parachutes are very flammable.
Okay.
So Eddie, Josh Lucas somehow catches up to Eddie, and they're flying through Russia. The 2 Russian planes come up, and we have a dogfight, and Eddie's like, "We must fight together, Josh." And
then he does
proceed to fight together. Yeah.
Josh Lucas literally blows up a Russian airplane. How does that not get more attention? Because he just committed an act of war, 100%.
He did.
And we just
let me ask you a question.
Yeah, please.
Let me ask you a question. You're in the military.
Yeah.
You have to destroy Tin Man.
Yes.
Right? You have Russians coming in at you. Do you continue to try and fight Tin Man, or do you join with Tin Man to kill the Russians?
I join the Russians and try to kill Tin Man. I create this great diplomacy for our countries, and they're like, hey, guys, this thing's bad. Sorry, we messed up. Let's kill it together. Which
is the plot of Dr. Strangelove, one of the greatest movies of all time. Is there's going to be this one lone B-52 bomber is going to blow up Russia, and so we call the Russians on the phone, and we're like, here's where he's flying, here's where he's going, here's his codes, you go blow him up. Because that's what you do.
Yes.
Because you do not want to cause the war. You want to destroy the Tin Man, but they chose to do this. So he and Tin Man fight it out. Tin Man then gets injured during the fight, where he's on fire, and Tin Man's like, I will die in 45 seconds. I'm sorry, Josh. Let's be friends again. Tin Man has a complete change of heart for no real reason.
So not only Tin Man has a change of heart, but then Josh Lucas saves the plane he was trying to destroy.
Because he realizes that the plane changed its mind.
So That, first of all, even
So
if that were the case.
It's his it's his fighter pilot intuition that Tin Man is now good. And
I mean, even if that were the case, let's pretend he does a full 180 on how the plane does a full 180 on how he thinks. At some point, you have to think to yourself, clearly he's not combat ready because we went on one mission and he was fucked. So let's just maybe let him die and maybe build a new one. Try again at best, or just don't, because it's clearly a bad idea right now. Why would you save him?
You mean because all the money, because it's expensive. And he's a good guy. He's a stand-up guy.
Oh, yeah.
Tin Man's a stand-up guy.
Bush him like.
And so he pulls back, he shoots a missile into the fucking lake, and the lake explodes, and the water puts Tin Man's fire out, and Tin Man lives! Tin Man lives!
So I have some questions on could you tell what exactly was wrong with Tin Man? That just a little... Fire. He was on fire. Okay, just the wing?
Magic death fire.
Okay, because if it's a hole and then his wires are what are caught on fire, dousing those wires in water is going to short circuit the plane, right? Oh, sorry. Yeah, my fault. All right, let's continue.
It's an absurd solution to an absurd problem. So then Sam Shepard, poor Sam Shepard, says, go to Alaska. Go to Alaska, and there's like a secret base there that you can hang out at. I don't even know why he's going there. So they all go there, and we find out that this is like the evil government base, and they try and kill Josh Lucas, and they try and they're going to erase Tin Man's memory. And then why did Keith Orbit even show up at the evil base? Who would have sent Keith Orbit to the evil base? I don't see it here in my notes.
That was the colonel guy. He called Keith and is like, hey, you got to get Sam Shepard, yes. Is like, hey, you got to go, your plane's out of control, you got to go fix him. Is basically what happened. I can't answer the why.
Did he drove there in a car to Alaska?
Seem that way. Yeah, that's what it looked like. Yeah. I don't know.
Oh no, there was the car. There was Keith Orbit, multi-billionaire, shows up at the secret base. Nobody. Doesn't even have super hot secretary. Doesn't have assistant. Doesn't have bodyguard. Ostensibly what is one of the richest men in the world.
Mm-hmm.
I just do my thing.
Clearly very eccentric, which we knew from his secretary scene where he's just bonkers. Like, he would have people with him. He's not...
Maybe
I don't know.
He's that crazy. So Josh Lucas goes all one-man army and, shoots everybody and does everything and then puts Eddie's brain back in there by himself because he's super genius. I don't even know how they get Eddie's brain back in the thing. Oh, no, Keith Orbit does it in 30 seconds. We had Keith Orbit.
Oh, yeah.
That's why Keith Orbit was there, to put Eddie's brain back into the...
Because they fired the other guy that could do it. The only other engineer who's ever worked on this robot, apparently. So
Tim.
Yes, Tim, thank you. Poor Tim. I mean, this guy, very smart. He'll never work again. He's done. He's done in the field. So here's my question about when Josh Lucas arrives at the Alaskan Air Base. So ostensibly, everyone in the Alaskan Air Base wants to kill Josh Lucas. Am I right on that so far?
Yep.
Okay. Josh Lucas crashes when he tries to land. He is all messed up. They run and rescue him out of the plane. They take him out. They're like, oh my God, are you okay? Let's get you fixed up. Why are they doing that? Leave him in the plane. Kill him in the plane. Just shoot him. Shoot him point blank. The guy's injured. He's laying there helpless. Shoot him. Why do they take him back to the med bay and then try to inject him with poison?
So we can have an evil doctor scene. We need to get this movie to 2 hours to really make it painful to us.
They really do not.
So Keith Orbit puts the brain back in. Josh Lucas gets in there, smartly knows that he needs a gun with him, so he puts a gun in with himself.
He gets it.
And at this point, he's figured out that his girlfriend is in North Korea, and no one's going to save her except him.
Correct. Yeah. I think Eddie told him that.
Did Eddie tell him that?
Yeah, because he's like, there's no flight log of her making it back to base, but there was an ejection over North Korea or something like that.
So somehow he thinks that he's going to find where she's at in this country in a little airplane. So he takes off. He helps Keith Orbit escape. Keith Orbit gets in this random car that's parked in there for unknown reason, that someone lifts up a cover to show that there's a car. Yeah. We're going to need a car later. Here's a car. And the guy's like,
just so you guys aren't confused.
I wonder why there's a car. So now I wrote kills himself. Oh, Sam Shepard kills himself.
Oh my God. That scene is so frustrating. First of all,
give me a minute. Give me a minute. Give me a gun. Give me a gun with one bullet.
Time out. No, I'm not going to give you a minute. You're under arrest. Okay, that means I am taking you into custody right now. You know what?
Too much respect. I got to get one last super dump as a military guy. Let me go in this bathroom. I got to have a clean one while I'm comfortable. I'm not going to, I know those bathrooms in prison are shit. They're out where they can watch you. I just want to have this one private BM session. God.
You know what? This guy makes a good point. Take all the time you need. Take it. I mean, what the so dumb. Don't give, you know what? If I ever arrest somebody, I am never giving them a minute. Okay? I've learned my lesson. That's right. I'm going to take them right then and there. And then that stupid, why does he leave the message to the other guy? What's the point of that?
What's the message?
He leaves he calls the guy in Washington.
Oh, he calls the creepy window guy? I don't remember that.
Yeah, he calls the creepy window guy, and the guy doesn't answer because now he's cut off, I guess, or something. So he's like, oh, straight to voicemail now, huh? That hurts my feelings. Well, and then he says something like, this is the difference between a warrior and someone, I don't know, someone who's not a warrior, and then he kills himself. And I'm like, first of all, you're a coward, sir. You're not a warrior.
That is...
You are taking the coward's way out. A warrior would go to jail. He would be like, you know what? I did this. I will face my responsibilities. Like, you know what? Screw you, guy. You're a little bitch. Sorry. Anyhow, let's keep going.
Why?
Oh, what'd you write down?
Did I write this down? I'll get to it in a second. I have no idea why I wrote this down. So he flies to North Korea from Alaska, which is 3,500 miles. In case you're wondering, 3,500 miles.
And we just made it there with the fuel? I feel like the fuel plays fast and loose.
It seems like you have it seems like you could do that, but that's a 2-hour flight in that kind of jet.
No, Jessica Biel's only there for like 20 minutes for sure.
Who knows? It got to be night. Got to be nighttime. So he goes there, and all this action ensues, and he kills Mr. Sniper, and he pulls the gun out. And I don't think Jessica Biel does anything very helpful. Maybe she does one helpful thing. Does she do a helpful thing in her rescue? Does she kill somebody?
Well, before the rescue, she hides in that rock with her machine gun.
Oh yeah,
and then leans up and kills a dude. So she did one thing. But then luckily they kind of stopped pursuing her for a while because from my understanding of time, that was 3 hours previous to when he gets there. So she's doing some really great traversal through the jungle and hiding. She's good, man. She is good. I mean, that should have been a whole movie by itself.
This is the part where Jessica Biel's like a terrible actress. She made all these noises while she was like, ooh, ee, ah, oh, yeah. I'm just like, oh, Jessica, stop. Just say things like, this is hard.
This is hard.
Right, I wrote this here. There is no banter. This movie is nearly banterless the entire time. And it's that's what we want. We want bad boys. We want Will Smith and the other guy, Martin. Martin, yeah. Martin Lawrence. Martin Lawrence giving each other grief. You're never gonna get there. You're never gonna. But they're just Ooh,
that's what Jamie Foxx should have been in the beginning. That should have been that relationship. That bond should have been there, but it just wasn't. That's interesting. There is no banter. That's why I don't like this movie. Shit hot is like the last cool thing that someone says. And that's minute
not
3.
Shit hot. So he saves her. Then this is what I wrote. I wrote, goodbye. This is a suicide mission. just tell me you love me, pussy.
Oh, so that's
why did I write any of that stuff down? I have no idea what any of that means.
Well, we have to put a pin in just tell me you love me, pussy, because that's the end of the movie, and it's my second favorite line in the movie.
That's what she says to him.
Yeah, so we got
he's a pussy.
Yeah. Well, let's just talk about it now. That's the other. Jessica Biel has the 2 best moments of the movie, and that's C Cup, and it's tell me you love me, pussy. Why is her character not that cool for the whole movie?
Because she's a woman.
She's just got like 2 great one-liners and then absolutely nothing in between.
Well, that's who her character should have been. Her character should have been the wisecracking,
ass-kicking,
plane breaking down when I have to limp home like a useless and she's grown up, she has to be in this boys club, and she is like the foulest mouth. She like Jamie Foxx is like blushing because she's dropping F-bombs and shitbirds. You shitbird, get off of my no, but instead she's like,
so cool.
I'm a princess saint, and then kiss me, pussy. Oh God.
Yeah. What a waste. She should have been so cool in this movie.
So do you have anything else to say about the ending?
Yes. Only that not only now have we blown up 2 Russian aircraft, we have now just quite literally bombed the shit out of North Korea.
Yep.
This movie ends in World War III, but not because of Eddie, because of the humans. Josh Lucas went and started 2 wars in this movie.
Yes, he did.
How do we not deal with that at all? Why is that just supposed to be okay?
Because America.
America. Fuck yeah.
America.
Oh,
and that's the whole thing. This, as I read some plane people, some real aviation people about this movie, and it's like, what these planes do? They sit up in the upper atmosphere, and these missiles go like this. And as Starship Troopers said, nuke them from space. And that's what warfare is. It is you getting nuked from space. It is not someone pointing a machine gun at an airplane, a $1 billion airplane. They do not put their $1 billion airplanes in front of someone with a machine gun, because the machine gun's never going to hit them there. And that's the other thing in this. There's always people with binoculars, like, here they come. You're like, you do not hear them coming. They're just they're like,
aren't they in Mach 4? Is that what they showed earlier in the movie?
Oh yeah. Mach 4. Yeah.
That's very fast. I don't know a whole lot about it, but that's fast.
Mach 2 is 700 kilometers per hour.
What is the sound barrier? Because that's one of them too, right? I can't remember. Yeah. But I imagine
it's probably like 3. Probably when you go to 4, you probably break the sound barrier.
Sure.
You're not. So how are they? You are not seeing these guys. They are like, it's like, 1 second. Well, they're gone. Missile,
and you're dead.
Missile in my face, and you're dead. And they play them like they're these little things,
it's ridiculous.
Which is not the way it works. That is not the way, because you cannot afford to throw $1 billion plane in the trash. You can't do that.
No, for sure not. But we do it a bunch, apparently. I like how exasperated you are right now. So I guess, No, what?
Give us your closing. Anything else about the ending, and then we'll start on the closing.
The only other thing about the ending that I don't enjoy is that they give I don't know the right word for a funeral on an aircraft carrier for Jamie Foxx.
Oh.
But who are all those people? This is supposed to be like a super top secret project. So who are all these people mourning Jamie Foxx? Because they don't know him, right?
I don't even remember what happened.
I don't know. I'm generally confused on their whole situation. I think is my problem. I don't think it was ever very clear.
Yeah, I mean, if we looked at like the level of secrecy that would occur with this thing, it would be insane. They would not be putting that thing on an aircraft carrier.
Yeah.
They would be doing all these tests in secret facilities in the middle of the desert for years before they would ever put this thing. You know, I mean, if we really and just a quick thing, this movie is called Stealth.
Ugh.
What is stealth?
Silence. Silent attack.
Silence, sneakiness. Yeah. Stealth is based on the stealth bomber, this bomber that sits up in the upper atmosphere and drops bombs on everything that you can't detect with radar and everything else. The one time in here, Josh Lucas is like, my stealth stuff isn't working.
And it's like, it hasn't worked once in the whole movie. Because you guys are the opposite of stealth. Even when they are throwing the bomb into the terrorists in the beginning, they're pretty low. Like, they're below cloud cover. They're just in the open. There's just never... These planes aren't stealth. That's a great... I never even thought about that for 1 second because I forgot that that's what this movie is called. But they never once do that. Interesting. All right, so, final thoughts?
I like Jessica Biel. She was great in Blade 3 or whatever it was.
Yeah, Blade 3, for
I
sure.
like it. She also produced this great TV show called The Sinner, where she starred in the first arc with who's the guy that played the president in Independence Day? What's his name?
Jeff. No. Why can't I think of his name?
Jeff, what's his name? Whatever his name is. Jeff.
No.
Yeah, that guy. It's a really good show. It's on like USA Network, and it's like these extended sort of mystery murder sort of things. And she was the producer, and she also starred in like the first arc, and then they've had 2 more since then. The other 2 were great too.
Interesting. Okay.
So I love her, and I wish this had been Bill Pullman.
His name is Bill Pullman. Yeah. Sorry.
I just wish because we're thinking of Jeff Daniels too.
Yep.
So Bill Pullman's in this. It's not Jeff Daniels. Jeff Daniels is in all his Jeff Daniels stuff. It's just sad because I love Jessica Biel, and I think Jamie Foxx is maybe the most talented person on the planet.
Not in this movie. He's
the funniest. He's a great actor. He's good looking. He's amazing. He can sing. He's everything. And you take him and you use him for nothing.
They barely even use him. Like he's in the movie for an hour, but his screen time is pretty limited, and his dialogue is nothing.
Nothing. Because they have all this space to put dialogue. They chose not to put dialogue in there, and it's like, dialogue is a thing that movies. I'm sure if you picked up the Bad Boys script, it's like this thick because it's just
so many lines.
Boom, 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 just line. And that's the thing about it is if you have 1,000 lines in a movie, you're gonna hit with a bunch of them.
Oh, for sure.
This movie had about 7 lines, and they were fine. They were lines, but it doesn't. You have to reach a critical mass of that. So I think this should be a Bad Boys movie.
Yes.
They should have put out toys. They should have, make it something real.
Yeah. Here's
sure.
yeah. No, sorry. No, go.
Give me your final thoughts. I have one other thing to talk about, not final thoughts.
Okay. So my final thought is just this. I feel ripped off because I was promised this movie that they didn't even do. Like, it's a complete 180. I don't know who made the trailer or who wrote the synopsis on my frickin' Hulu, but that's not the movie that I just saw. I'm supposed to see this movie where this rogue plane robot wants to destroy and start the next world war, but all I saw was humans create war and then not deal with it. And it was the most disappointing movie I've seen in this whole podcast to me.
Oh my God. I would watch this movie again before I watched Gotti. Oh God.
Okay.
Gotti was so terrible. Gotti was just garbage. Oh my
But
God.
I knew
Gotti
that
was just
going
like
in.
unwatchable.
Like, I knew what Gotti was
Okay.
about, right? And Gotti was about what we thought it was about. They just didn't do it very well. This movie, like, is a surprise plot that I did not see coming, and I didn't care to see. I don't know. They're all bad.
They're all bad.
All right, what was your
So-
one more thing?
As I was doing some of my research, I found some stealth fanfic.
Wait, what? Is it good? Did you read it?
Do you know anything about fanfic?
Yes, absolutely.
Most fanfic is done by young girls, and it's like these weird sexual fantasies.
It's
And-
definitely that.
This one, they didn't. I couldn't. I thumbed through it because it was like 50 chapters long.
Is the robot getting some action?
The robot and Josh are kind of a thing.
Yeah, I
And
would
the
see
robot,
this.
Keith Orbit rebuilds the robot, I think, as a person, but it still has wings. I don't know if it flies. It's just like super weird. And they, at one point, they're talking about Josh's cockpit. So,
Yeah, his cockpit.
or no, Eddie's cockpit. So,
Sure,
so
you got to fill that cockpit.
I would, if I'd have found some really graphic content, we would have shared that here because it was be so weird. But
So good.
I couldn't find it, and I watch other channels where they make fun of fanfic, and I understand this is a thing for young people to do their thing where they sort of pour these weird fantasies out on paper.
Yeah, for sure. And some of it's great.
But there is some stealth fanfic out there for you people that are really weird.
Oh
so
my God, I
go
gotta
search
find
that
this.
out online.
I got to read this. I'll find it.
Any other research moments you found from this sweet movie?
Other than the director, and then the writer also wrote Big Trouble in Little China, which is a great, ridiculous movie.
Go look at Big Trouble in Little China, a movie that you really can't say anything bad about. So let's move on to things we liked this week. I'll start. I watched Copland again. Shannon had it on. I watched out there. Copland is the movie Stallone.
Okay.
And not well reviewed, didn't make any money, put Stallone's career on hold for like 8 years because it wasn't what people wanted to see him do.
Oh.
And so people went in for a Stallone movie, and he plays a guy that's kind of slow, is constantly abused throughout the movie, and it's
Interesting.
It's a movie, I put it right up there with Shawshank Redemption as one of my favorite movies. Yep,
Wow.
I do. It is a movie that if it is on, I will stop and I will sit there and I will watch the entire movie from wherever I come in to the absolute end. And it because it actually talks about people. He is a character, and Stallone is amazing because it's not he transforms into this guy, and you never sit there going like thinking that's Sylvester Stallone. At least I don't. You are like, he is Freddy, and this character is beat up by the entire town and by everybody, and everybody is flawed like real human beings. And
wow,
it's a very dark movie that I think really talks about the human condition in a great way, as opposed to like Stealth, where we don't ever get anything about the human condition. We get we come across, we come away from this going like, that movie just shows the problems with war and the problems with how people think about all this stuff and how dangerous it really is. And you make these movies that gloss over what's real, and you end up with nothing.
Yeah.
Hit us with a pick, Tony.
Hold on. I just want to say I've never seen Copland, and because it was poorly reviewed, and everyone was like, I didn't like that movie. So I will watch it. I'm intrigued now. You've sold at least one viewer, Dan. Great job.
Harvey Keitel is in there.
Right.
Ray Liotta in one of his great roles.
Oh, I love Ray.
Janine Garofalo, great.
Really?
Yeah, and I think it's Annabella Sciorra plays the woman, and it's like, and Stallone is, I think his performance is, he should have won an Oscar for it, in my opinion. Should have won an Oscar.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm excited. All right,
hits for the
my pick, which is almost a complete opposite to what you just picked, which is like a serious grounded piece. The wife and I watched the Peacock series, which I believe aired in London before, of Intelligence with I don't remember the guy who wrote it, but he also stars in it. And then it's got David Schwimmer, and it's about David Schwimmer is like an NSA agent who has to go over to the UK, whatever that I don't really even know, but it's like a workplace comedy done with in a cybersecurity setting, and it's really fun. We both really enjoyed it. David Schwimmer is still phenomenal, still great. He plays this like super American, which so he's he's racist, he's kind of chauvinist, he's bigoted, like, but he does it in the David Schwimmer way, where like you still kind of find him charming a little bit. And
sure.
It's really good. It's really good. I enjoy it a lot.
This is on the Peacock network?
Yeah, it's on the Peacocks, and it's only 6 episodes because it was done on Sky One over in the UK.
So it's like, so they don't beat the horse till it's
not at all. We watched the whole thing last night, actually. After Stealth, we were like, we need something to cleanse our palate. Let's try this. And it worked.
Blah, get out.
So keep that in mind. I guess we watched it right after Stealth, so that could have amplified the way we liked it.
Yes. We were watching Rugrats cartoons, and they are the greatest art form ever seen by humankind. Good God, the scripting, the characterizations, the voice acting, Rugrats.
Unbelievable. So good.
So I get to pick a movie. I was vacillating between 2 movies.
Okay.
2 movies that were in the last couple years.
Oh, yes.
One which people like, one which people seem to not like. We're going to do the one that people liked later.
Yeah, get them. Okay.
We're going to go to the one that didn't do well. 2019's 2019's reboot of a reboot of a reboot of a reboot. Charlie's Angels.
Oh, no.
Oh, yes. Charlie's Angels.
Some K-Stew? Oh, no. I'm ready for this.
I really like her. So...
Dan, we're going to talk next week about that, I assume, because whoa.
I really like her. So, I actually did not hate the first Twilight movie.
Damn.
I thought it was a good movie.
No,
I actually thought it was a good movie.
Oh, Dan.
I mean, I've only watched it once, but
sure.
It did not. I was like, it seemed very modulated for what it was trying to do, and it took source material, which I thought was fairly problematic, and did a lot with it.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah. I've watched some of the other ones, and they're like the hottest garbage ever.
In their defense, if you like the first movie, it's not really their fault because the books go crazy. Anyhow. Charlie's Angels.
I'm in love with your baby, and I'm going to marry your baby.
Right. What are you talking about right now? I don't understand.
Charlie's Angels 2019. Kristen Stewart and 2 other girls that no one knows who their names are. Maybe we will after we watch this movie.
Wrong, Dan. One of them
know one of them.
She was the pink Power Ranger in the Power Rangers reboot, and she played Jasmine in the new Aladdin, and she was the only good part of that movie.
The live action Aladdin?
Yes. And which I'm honestly, let's not talk about that too much, but it surprised me at how much I didn't hate it. Other than Guy Ritchie destroying One Jump, the song One Jump. Just ruined it. Anyhow.
So we're going to say goodbye. Say goodbye, Tony.
Goodbye, everybody.
See you next time.
Hey, watch it!